live television, they might be in darkness inside as they set the proper mood. So let's take a peek in there and see what's going on, shall we?
I am former television personality Norm Macdonald. And I am here to introduce Howard Stern. Of course, you all know him. He's a very funny man. He's a good friend, and he's an area DJ here in town. And Howard, of course, is going to make an announcement today. What that announcement is, who knows? I'm as much in the dark as you people. But it's going to be exciting, as you can tell from that welling music behind me. So without further ado, whatever that means, but I've heard people say that, without further ado, here he is, the king of all media, the funniest guy in the world. Folks, give it up, Howard Stern.
I was going to stand and, can you hear me? Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. I was going to stand to make my speech, but I realized that I'm way too tall for that podium. Norm, first of all, I want to thank you for introducing me. By having Norm introduce me, it implies what, Robin?
I don't know. Norm is a failed comic, isn't he?
Yeah, Norm, what happened? Norm, didn't you get kicked off Saturday Night Live?
Howard, somebody told me Norm left.
He left already? Wow.
Norm obviously has appointments.
Norm is unemployed and has to find some work real quick. But I do want to thank Norm, who I think was a true asset to Saturday Night Live, and that points up something very interesting. What we're going to be talking about here today is that Saturday Night Live let go probably the funniest guy on Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live has ceased being funny. And for a long time, I've heard a lot of people say this. It's not just me, but that Saturday Night Live is not sort of happening. And maybe it's time for an alternative. And that's what we're here to announce today, that we are going to have an alternative to Saturday Night Live. And hopefully more people will watch our show than their show. Now, of course, I don't have the same cheerleaders sketch day in and day out, which I think people will be disappointed in. But other than that, I think we have a pretty good program. What we plan to present is a program that deals in reality, a program that interviews wackos from every walk of life. And we're happening, aren't we, Robin? Are we happening?
I don't know. I looked at that promo tape that just ran, and I said, they're not going to let that on broadcast television, are they?
They're not? Probably half the stuff we do won't be on broadcast television. As you know, we have a lot of nudity and lesbians. Did I mention we have lesbians?
Yeah.
And nudity?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not even sure how they're going to put our show on television.
Yeah, baby.
But I am very excited. As you know, I've conquered the world of books. I have conquered the world of movies. What else have I conquered?
Music. I
Music.
learned all this from the tape.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I missed the tape. They had me locked up in a room back there. I didn't know what was going on. So anyway, the point is... Sorry?
Even the world of dwarfs.
Ignore that man. That is a Lorne Michaels fan.
He's here to disrupt this press conference.
That is the last Lorne Michaels fan.
Yeah, I'll stand into it if somebody pays me.
All right, thank you. Now be quiet. We plan to have a lot of drunken dwarves on the show. Don't ask me why this gets ratings, it just does. Everything I seem to say is funny. I don't know why I'm funny. I don't know how God blessed me with this gift, but here I have it. Thanks to Robin, Jackie, Fred, Gary, and my whole crew, and all the people sitting over there, we have a highly entertaining program that is like train wreck television. So that's what we plan to put on TV, train wreck television.
Howard, you're funny because you have drunken dwarfs on the show.
Yes, we do. Thank
you.
Actually, these are some of the people we'll have on the show. Hank the Drunken Dwarf and Fred the Elephant Boy, if you'd like to say hello.
Howard, this is wonderful news.
Fred, why do you feel we'll be successful?
Successful because you're the only damn person that's funny on TV.
No. It's because on network television, he can find more men, Howard.
Is that it?
No. Cut out.
Pass the arsenic, everyone. This is my show for Saturday night.
And I'm so...
Uzo, would you tell the press why I am so great?
You're the greatest. You've conquered the world of movies.
Show these people how good you look. Are you the world's prettiest black woman?
Absolutely.
You are. Okay. Well, very beautiful.
Uzo is back in top shape.
The press should know that this woman thinks I'm God.
Absolutely.
Notice
you are the greatest.
she will not
You are
look,
the greatest entertainer of all time.
Thank you, Uzo.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bar none.
she will not look directly at Howard because she feels he is God.
That is true.
It's amazing. I've been listening to your show for 8 to 9 years, and you are just the absolute fucking best.
Oh, well, thank you.
That is not up to broadcast standards.
By the way, Uzo will fillet anyone who will give us a good write-up in any of your articles. It's going to be beautiful. And people like Crackhead Bob, of course, will be on the show.
What's going on?
Bob overdosed on crack years
Doc?
ago. And as you know, speech impediments are funny, and
Yes.
Bob, you are the funniest.
Yes.
Do you have a
okay.
message for the people, Bob?
Don't do that. I did it, not nice.
Right.
Okay, baby.
So anyway, with this, we enter into late-night television. Saturday nights will never be the same, hopefully. I got to tell you, already I'm embarrassed by the show. It hasn't even hit the air. Hard to believe this is my life. Who else is here, Gary?
Croy.
Oh, Croy, would you like to say something to the press?
Good morning to the United States of America, the press of New York.
Right. And do you have a message for anybody?
Yes, I just got a letter from King Philip and Queen Elizabeth of England, and I'm looking for President X Ronald Reagan, and I'm waiting for the intelligence squad of the Secret Service to come and pick me up for nuclear, atomic, and Muhammad Ali prize
Okay.
architecture.
I don't know if people know it, but that is Fred's wife over there. One of our head writers. One of our top writers on the show. So anyway, we're pretty excited.
It used to be Fred's wife. It's mine now.
You might think that my life is sad based on the appearance of all my guests, but think how much sadder your life is. You're following me around today, so that's pretty sad. Some of you might be wondering if the show will be successful, and tell you the truth, so am I. I actually think it'll be very successful. I think that the game plan is to go on Saturday nights, have some fun, and give people a good laugh, just like we've been doing in their cars all along in the morning, and now we'll give them a good laugh at night. And I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank CBS for the opportunity, my agent Don Buchwald, and of course the great Mel Karmazin. So, thank you. And now, everyone's worst nightmare, Penny Crone.
Hey, Howard.
First
Yeah.
question.
I have to interrupt for a second. I have to
What?
tell you that the press conference today is being sponsored by Metrex, Cold Ease, the New York Sports Clubs, and CDNow.com.
Can you believe it? We've actually figured out a way to make money off the press conference. All right, let's go to Penny Crone, who has many questions. Obviously, the press is fascinated with the notion of me on Saturday night television.
Firstly, I'm fascinated with the fact that CBS, you know, the
Tiffany Network.
Tiffany Big Eye Network hired you.
William Paley is flipping his lid right now in his coffin.
He's rolling over.
Yeah,
But
he's-
the big question is, isn't your ego a bit out of control now? I
No.
mean, come on. I mean, this is a news conference. I mean, that's reprehensible.
What is?
You touting yourself for 4 minutes.
Yes. Well, let me tell you something. It was going to be 8 minutes, but to show you how under control I am, I cut it down to 4 minutes.
Are you going to clean up seriously? Are you going to? This is CBS. We are talking CBS.
Penny
are you
is
going to
right.
clean up your act?
Yeah, Penny is right. CBS is the Tiffany Network, but I sat and I thought about it, and I said, you know what? Tiffany is a stripper's name. So we'll pack the show with strippers and all
How
kinds
did
of
you
things.
get this job?
Well, I'll tell you something.
No, seriously.
I'll tell you what's happening. In my mind, television has changed. The fact of the matter is that late-night television is ready for someone like me. The fact of the matter is that standards have gone to an all-time low, and I'm here to represent it. It's a miracle. I pray to God for this.
Do you think Middle America's going to accept you, Paducah, Kentucky? I mean, they're not going to watch you.
By the way, Penny, let me say something. You look more beautiful than ever. It looks like you discovered the fountain of youth. Really, more beautiful than ever.
You're not answering me.
What is that?
Is Paducah, Kentucky going to accept you? I mean, these guys with CBS they've
As
got to
you
be
know,
loose.
Penny,
I mean, in New York you work, but...
Penny, as you know, I am syndicated all over the country. I am syndicated in small markets, big markets, medium-sized markets.
Yeah, but they don't see you. They hear you.
What are you saying? I can't be looked at? Are you out of your mind? You got a haircut that looks like Helen Keller cut it, and you're complaining about me.
She's on TV.
Yeah, you're on TV every night. If you could be on TV, why can't I be on TV? It's a total outrage. I demand an end to the press conference. It's outrageous. There's many serious journalists here. Penny, let's not make fun of each other's appearance.
We're going to be on Penny's special feature tonight.
Is that right, Penny?
Yeah, I find it amazing that CBS has hired you. Now they've got Susan Molinari. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is right.
And Howard Stern
at night.
Because it shows you that America has moved more toward where I'm at. And you know where I'm at. I'm in an insane asylum.
Are you really going to have that midget on the show with you?
Hank will be there. He's not a midget.
Midget's a bad word.
That's
Midget
right.
is a bad
How
word.
dare you insult him that way, Penny?
Midget is the same as calling a Jew a kike or a black man a nigger. You
Yeah.
cannot call Hank a midget.
What is he?
He is a drunken dwarf. And I say that with all respect.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Hank, midget is a bad word. Is that correct?
Yeah, but drunk's all right.
Right. Very nice. In fact, Penny will meet you out in the parking lot after the press conference. Let's, yes.
I've dated a few black girls, Robert.
All right, thank you.
And I've dated a few Jew girls.
Thank you, Hank.
I don't think CBS knows what they hired, quite frankly. CBS hasn't sunk low enough to hire Penny yet, though. Who is still waiting to be hired by CBS.
But the door is opening.
Right. There are many questions, Baba Booey. Let's go around.
Where is he?
Sir, you look very serious in the front. You must be a very serious journalist. You haven't laughed once.
Actually, I've been laughing since you walked in, Howard.
Oh.
David Weber, SW Networks.
Yes. What is that?
What's that?
The Weber Networks?
That's right, the Weber Networks, SW Networks.
What is SW
We
Networks?
provide morning show prep to radio stations nationally.
Who
We do a
let
very
him
good
in?
job of it.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, go ahead. What is your question?
You made no secret of how challenging it was to do the Channel 9 show while doing 5 hours in the morning, the full-length feature film. Are you ready to undergo the rigors of doing a weekly show for CBS?
Well, the show actually is based on the radio show, much like the E! Show, so it'll be an easier schedule. There's no way I could go back to doing what we did for Channel 9 years ago. So a lot of the stuff that takes place in the studio will be used. And also we'll be creating some original bits and doing some animation and things like that that people will be popping up in that hour. So it won't be as demanding as the Channel 9 show, but it'll be a lot funnier.
Well, that's the first piece of news. It's an hour-long show.
It is?
You just
know,
said that.
I might have just made that up, because it could be a half hour.
How long is this show?
You know, I really don't know. I just made that up.
Actually, I do have a follow-up, Howard. Is this any indication that come 2.5 years, you have decided to leave Morning Drive behind and move on to television?
Well, I'm gonna figure that out in 2.5 years. Right now, I'm 900 years old, so I don't know how much longer I can keep this up, but I'll keep trying to make people laugh. Yes, go ahead. There's Chauncey over there from Steppin' Out magazine.
And looking spectacular today.
And by the way,
you, Robin.
you look like a real journalist today, Chauncey.
Thank you, Howard.
Why don't you take your shirt off and show everybody the giant tattoo on your back?
Yeah, sure. It would hurt my credibility as a journalist.
I don't think so. You have none.
Would you
The guy
like
who writes for a free newspaper. Yeah, go ahead, Chauncey.
Howard, who will be your first celebrity guest?
Who? You, Chauncey, with your back.
Thank you very much.
This man, he put a tattoo on his back. What is it you wrote on your back?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah. Well, show the press immediately. The guy made a tattoo on his back, completely a written slogan. Look at the size of this. Penny Crone's going to have a heart attack. And what is the slogan?
Fails to kill me only serves to make me stronger.
Right. Now, you had...
It was going to say destroy, but destroy was too long, and I didn't want to go through all that pain.
You ran out of room on your back, and you abbreviated the slogan.
That's correct.
Imagine you were writing
I changed Nietzsche's quote to something else.
Okay, very good.
Penny didn't believe it was real. She tried to rub it off.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'll be on Geraldo this week.
Why are you wearing a bandana on your head? You look like Sonny Bono after you hit in the tree.
It's my new look. I'm trying to be more hip and outrageous like you,
All right,
Howard.
very good. I'm all for
my
that.
question.
What
Who's
is
going
your
to be your
question?
first celebrity guest?
I have no idea who will be the first celebrity guest, Chauncey.
When does it first air?
I don't know. It'll probably air in the summer. We think it'll air in the summer. Is that right, guys?
Is there anyone at this press conference with some real information?
Hey, did anybody notice that every CBS executive ran out of here and there's none left?
They saw the film clip.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Howard.
Yes.
Now that you have a TV show, will you dump your wife like Johnny Carson?
Get out of here, Stuttering John.
Hey, Howard, will I still have a job?
Yes. Go ahead. Where is some real journalists?
There's a lady over there with a real question.
Here is a real question. Thank you. Where are you from?
LA Times.
The
How
LA
are you?
Times. Very good.
Howard, can you talk about exactly what your show is going to look like? I mean, the obvious question is, are you going to have naked ladies and the kind of language you have on the radio show on the air?
If you've seen our E! Show, what I plan to do is take some of the wildest events of the week and air them on Saturday nights. And what I feel that will do is provide people with some real laughs. People tell me when they hear our show or they see it on TV that they have real laughs, belly laughs, real interviews that are outrageous.
But are you going to have naked ladies?
Yes,
and the dwarfs
absolutely.
And the language, the same level of language?
Yes, absolutely. Because 11:30 is the safe harbor, as you know. The FCC says it's fine to say penis and vagina at 11:30.
We're going to find out if it's safe.
Yeah.
We're the ones who do the testing.
That's it. So we will have the same language and use the same sort of disgusting speech that we use on the radio. Yeah, absolutely.
Howard, Michael Starr from the New York Post. First of all, F. Jackie.
Thank you.
Second of all, did you learn any lessons from your Channel 9 show that you're going to apply to this show? I mean, what are you going to be doing differently that you did in 1990 to 1992?
Well, I did 2 years on Channel 9, and I got to tell you something. The first thing I learned was to ignore the press. If people tell you something isn't funny in the press, or they tell you you're not going to succeed, I mean, for years, when I got here in radio in New York, the press used to write every day that I was going to be booted out.
We love you at the Post, though.
You do love me at the
yes,
Post. It's true. So I've learned to just go ahead and rely on what I think is funny and stick to that, and everything will be just fine. What is that, Penny?
What happens if you don't get ratings?
You know what happens then.
Penny, you've experienced that.
You tell us, Penny.
Weren't you on morning radio for a while? Well, Penny, answer the question. What happens when you don't have ratings? You go back to that dumb television show you're on.
No, seriously, how long do they give you, and how much are you making?
Well,
I mean,
first of all,
what kind of contract do you have?
I never reveal salary. You know that, because Jackie here will quit.
So you won't tell us what the deal is, but what do you got, 13-week options? Or?
I don't know. You know, I don't know the deal. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how many options I have. But, you know, I've never failed.
Don knows.
I don't. Don, do you know? You're not telling either?
He's not speaking to the press.
Well, I imagine that if we don't get ratings, we'll be off the air. I think that's what I'm making.
To do this show, what CBS is paying you.
Oh, Penny, you would plot right on the ground here. You wouldn't be able to breathe.
I mean, are you in the millions?
Of course, always. No, actually, I don't reveal what I make because a lot of people get jealous, particularly my two writers over there. But yeah, I'm not making a fortune. I'm doing it to make people laugh.
Can we say $1 million?
No, you can't.
This
I told
is a
you.
charity thing. You're doing it to make people laugh?
Yeah, that's all I care about. I want to see CBS be successful.
I mean, when you see what Letterman is making and all these other guys, are you up there with them?
No, it is nowhere in that range.
Well,
Nowhere.
they work 5 nights a week. This is 1 night a week.
Yeah, and I hardly work. I'm just funny naturally. Yeah, go ahead.
Howard, Marshall Fine from...
Marshall Fine, everyone, a very fine
Hello,
journalist.
Marshall.
Hi, Marshall.
How you doing?
Yeah.
2 questions. Number 1, how long is it going to take...
Marshall, do me a favor. Grab Penny's purse and look in there for drugs. Go ahead. Yes.
I see the names of all these TV stations you're going to be on. How long is it going to take you to infiltrate the entire country? That's question number 1. And question number 2 is, what does your therapist say about doing this?
Well, I think it'll take 5 minutes to infiltrate the country. I think if we're successful and we get a lot of ratings, we'll be on everywhere. My therapist says, my therapist hasn't said anything. He thinks I'm ready to crack, though. I am in therapy. That is true. You can print that. And he says I'm a deeply disturbed man. But my therapist actually told me he wants to do a walk-on, and I'm against it.
Howard, we have a lot of reporters who are listening in on the phone from many of the different markets. From Philadelphia Inquirer, we have Gail Schister with us.
Oh, Gail Schister, very fine journalist. And she doesn't work for a free newspaper. Hi, Gail.
The most important question is, am I still your favorite lesbian?
Yeah, Gail is a lesbian radio and TV reporter.
You know, I actually saw Gail on Candid Camera.
Yeah, baby.
You did?
Yeah.
I can only imagine what happened. How many women were involved?
Fascinating heterosexual.
Yeah, I looked around. You know, they were in her hotel room, and there was no one there but her.
Really? What are you wearing right now, Gail?
I'm naked.
You are?
Howard,
is your yes?
You know, Gail's doing the whole. She had a ring ceremony, and they have a kid. She's doing that
Right,
whole
they did
thing.
the adoption thing and everything.
Oh, really?
Not adoption.
Oh, you artificially...
Real baby, the old-fashioned way.
Wait a second, Gail. You're telling me you had a real baby?
Not her.
Did,
her
yeah.
partner.
Oh, your partner did?
In the room.
And
But
did
what do you mean the old-fashioned way? Did she sleep with a guy?
Or did you turkey baste her?
Baster baby.
It's a baster baby. So let me ask you something, Gail. When you made love to your life mate,
Yes.
you took a turkey baster and penetrated her?
No, actually, I was waiting for some tips from you on that.
No, seriously, is that true, Gail?
Was it Howard?
Why
Use
not?
a baster?
I'm sorry, did you use a turkey baster?
Did we use a baster? I
Yeah.
don't know. Wasn't in the room at that particular moment.
Really? So you're saying that you did not take part in the lovemaking session that impregnated her?
That is correct, but I think you may have been there. We're not sure who the father is.
I doubt that. You wouldn't want me as the father. Who'd want that to be?
Question?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, did I do my bit enough now? I can ask a real question?
Go ahead.
Okay, Green Bay and Salt Lake are not carrying your show. What's your response to that?
What do you mean they're not carrying the show? So far, nobody's carrying it. Right now, it's the CBS O&Os who are carrying the show.
Right. They're CBS O&Os who have said they have previous syndicated commitments.
That's
they
probably
will not be carrying your show.
Well, that's probably possible, actually, because oh wait, here's a real guy.
Executive who wants
Here's
to
a real
answer that
CBS
question.
executive.
Standing.
Go ahead.
No, that's exactly the case. You know, there are previous program commitments. They have ER is the only market that we happened to license ER a couple of years ago for repeats, and we're committed to start out with that. But I'm sure as time goes on and this show, as this show takes off, we'll re-examine and we'll see if we can free something up. But right now there's just no room, and that's why we're only in 12 markets covering 30% of the country in one of the biggest launches in the history of television.
Yeah, and by the way, I got to tell you something. One sentence from a suit and everyone fell asleep.
Yeah, you buy that, Howard?
I absolutely buy it. I happen to know it's the
Wait a
truth.
minute, does Gail know something we don't know?
Gail, it's the absolute truth.
Oh, Gail knows many things you don't know.
No, seriously, that is the truth. When you start up a show like this, there are certain markets that do have shows that they've committed to for a couple of years.
Yeah, something was on television before we decided to do this.
But we plan.
As a follow-up, Howard,
Sure.
are you going to continue the emphasis on penis and lesbians, your two favorite topics, or
Absolutely, Gail.
Content at all?
Absolutely, I will not change the content at all. I know that lesbians equal ratings, and I've said that in my movie. I've said that on radio. I've said that on the David Letterman show, and I continue to say it right here.
That's it.
The whole damn thing will be packed with lesbians. It can't fail.
I've never been on.
Because you are not a funny lesbian. That's the problem.
But you are.
What's your cup size, Gail?
What's yours?
You're under a C cup, so you can't get on. Thank you, Gail. That's Gail Schuster, everybody. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
Hey, Howard, will you be giving us more laughs or boners?
All right, John, just sit down and be quiet. What's the matter with you?
Who put him out there?
Chevy.
Hi.
Hi, are you going to have a theme song, and are you going to sing it?
I will have a theme song, but I will not sing it.
Why not?
Because I don't sing. Hank the Dwarf is going to sing it. Hank, why don't you sing it right now? What is our theme song? I don't know. We haven't even decided any of that yet. I would like a theme song, though.
Oh, what song you want?
All right, forget that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sir. Where are you from?
I'm from Channel 9, actually.
Okay.
Are you concerned about censorship? Do you have any deal with CBS that you're going to be able to do more than what others have been able to do?
Well, you have to fall within certain standards, but pretty much, the guidelines I follow on the radio are the guidelines I'll follow at 11:30 at night. 11:30 at night is a pretty loose time. There are certain standards you have to follow on TV. But, I'm aware of those. I know what I have to do.
Any message you want to send to the people over at Saturday Night Live?
Other than if it's a funny thing. When I went up against them when we had the Channel 9 shows and we beat them soundly, the thing I said to them is don't become complacent. Just because you've been on the air for 20 years doesn't mean that people are going to stay tuned. You're only as good as your last show. They're lazy, they're tired, they're old, and I guarantee you right now they're sitting down having a meeting about this, and they're going to sit down and work a little harder. So it's probably good for them right now. They're going to get a good swift kick in the ass.
But don't you think fear of censorship is part of their problem, and that's why they haven't pushed the limits? Alice Stockton Rossini 10-10 wins.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that they have become safe. And when you become establishment and you become so-called legitimate, you become stiff and stodgy. Thus, cheerleaders every week. That's why I think Norm Macdonald was fired. I think it was because he had too many OJ jokes. When you're pals with OJ, when your boss is pals with OJ, maybe they limit you. I don't know. Why would you fire a funny guy like that?
It happens.
It's they've clearly lost touch.
Where is the show going to be shot?
In my studio, my radio studio.
Oh, it is?
The majority of the material will be generated from there.
And is it live or all of it's going to be on tape?
Tape.
But it's going to be in the radio studio.
Yep.
And you're going to bring your guests in and do everything from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it won't be boring like Imus.
Well, so far, if you look at my ratings, you look at Imus's, that tells the whole story. If I'm ever boring like Imus, you can throw me out of the business.
You're not going to have like song and dance themes and all that stuff?
No, I don't think so, unless it's you, Penny.
Have you thought of, seriously, have you thought about maybe getting your hair cut and being funny the way you are and serious funny though?
Yes, Penny, who are you going to? He wants
no, I'm
that
serious.
cut.
I mean, change your image.
Yeah, I want to go to the same guy. I want to go to the same guy cutting your hair, Penny.
You always do that. You always make fun of me. And Howard,
the first show, I would like Penny to dance topless.
Howard, how is this going to be different than the E! show?
Well, it'll be different in that we're going to generate some original bits that sort of are companion pieces to some of the things that we do. We're also planning on doing some animated pieces that will be companion pieces to what we do. But I love what we do in the radio studio. I've always said that it's a good television show. I like the idea of having in Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee and giving them lie detector tests and talking to them about their dirty porno videos. I believe that that's fun. That's a good alternative to what they're doing on Saturday Night Live. So in some respects, it won't be different other than the fact that we're getting the material on there quickly. But I have no problem with the E-Show. The E-Show is the number one show on that network, and that material should be on the air. So it will be different in some ways, but essentially we'll have a lot of that material on there as well.
Yeah, Howard, Paul Murnane from WCBS News
Sure.
88. I'm wondering, could this work 5 nights a week? Would you any thought that you could do this Monday through Friday?
Of course it could. Of course it could. This is only the beginning.
Oh.
We will be on 10 days a week.
Howard?
Yes.
Howard, on our phone, from Fort Lauderdale, the News Sun-Sentinel is Tom Jicka.
Tom Jicka. Yes, hi.
Howard, how are you?
How are you?
This show's been in conversation for a long time. You've been talking about it on the air, and I've talked to CBS executives maybe a year or longer. What's taken so long to bring it to the air?
Well, you know, listen, I mean, who knew what the show was going to be? The circumstances had to be right at CBS. They had to be looking for a program. It just all seemed to come together now. It didn't seem like it was going to be a pain in the neck. It went easy. Our discussions went easy. The executives in charge seem to get it. They understand what I'm about. They know what I want to do. So it seems like a good marriage right now.
Are you going to keep your promise to Norm Macdonald?
Which is?
That he'd do Weekend Update?
Absolutely. I would like to have Norm on the first show to do Weekend Update. I think he's a scream.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why is this starting just on the owned and operated stations and not the network?
Well, it's a syndicated effort. And the owned and operated stations have said, hey, we want to have the show. We want to put it on the air. And then we'll offer it around the country, like any syndicated show. Yep.
Team of writers, or that you were using other writers besides Jackie and Fred this time?
Jackie and Fred are a part of the show. Of course, Rob and the whole gang. And then also, yeah, by the way, you guys are part of the show.
Thank you. Will there be others?
Cool.
That's an announcement, huh, Fred?
Yeah, there you go. And also, there'll be other writers, too.
Do you have them named yet?
It's not you. Don't worry, Johnson.
There's a question over there.
Go ahead.
Oh, actually, Howard, I'm Lisa Cooley from WCBS TV.
All right.
How are you?
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. All right.
Nice to meet you. And actually, all of my questions that I had have been answered here. This is such an astute crowd of
Yes.
journalists. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Are you single?
Actually, I am.
You are?
Yes.
Mm.
Do you? Does Lauren Michaels fan?
Would you be willing to kiss
I'll marry
Penny?
you tomorrow.
Would you be willing to kiss Penny Crone on our first show? Come on, you know you
Penny's
want it.
shaking her head no.
Penny, would you do lesbian?
Robin, he is disgusting.
Oh,
I
you
am
love
a
it.
journalist, and I take great offense to that.
Oh, please. When did you become a journalist?
She just discovered.
Oh. I'd like to see your credentials. Are there any other questions about the show? Sure, here's a question. You seem like a real journalist, are you? No. Where are you from?
Mike Flaherty, Entertainment Weekly.
Oh, wait a second. Now, that's a real magazine. Go ahead.
Look, he's going to be killed by this.
The microphone's going to hit you in the head.
I had understood that this was being produced with Letterman's Worldwide Pants. Is that true?
No, that is not true. It is being produced by... Who is it being produced by? Anybody know?
Fred.
Oh, the Howard Stern Production Company.
Oh.
But I've spoken to Dave about the show.
Wait a minute. What was that, Don?
Howard Stern Productions in association with CBS Productions.
Oh, okay.
Very, very impressive. A lot of people involved.
Howard, we have another question on our phone from the Detroit Free Press, Mike Duffy.
Hi, Mike. Yes, Mike. There's no mic there. Go to another question then. Anyway, needless to say, we're just excited about it. It's another opportunity for the show. We know it will be successful. There's no competition for us.
I went to ask it, and he said there's no microphone there.
Oh, hello.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Howard, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I have a two-parter. Can we officially declare the Tiffany Network dead?
Yeah.
And
Well,
number two, will you have a house band and regular musical guests?
No, I won't have a house band. I won't have regular musical guests. We'll talk to artists, musical artists and stuff.
Okay.
But no, and yes, you can declare the Tiffany Network dead.
All right.
Yeah, no, I told you, Tiffany is a stripper's name. It's certainly
Everything has gone down.
Everything's gone downhill. No, I think that I think you can very much declare it alive. In fact, the problem is that people want diversity. I think all of television